Just one day before voters in the state of Iowa head to the caucuses, Hillary Clinton is telling her supporters, don't worry about that email scandal. It's just like Benghazi.
I'm really not concerned because it's the same story that has been going on for months now. And I just don't think most people are as concerned about that as they are about what we're going to do to get the economy going and how we're going to protect the Affordable Care Act and everything that I talk about in this campaign, because that's what Iowans and Americans talk to me about.
So what's next in the FBI's email investigation? We know there is one. Here to weigh in is former Assistant Director of the FBI, Ron Husko. Ron, there's Hillary talking about how the intel community won't let the State Department release any part of 22 memos because they are so top secret. It would be bad for our agents out in the field. According to the people you know at the FBI and what you're hearing right now, what is the status of this case against her?
Well, my concern here is that we're not hearing about the prosecutive support that the FBI would need to pursue this investigation vigorously. And that would typically include prosecutor or prosecutors from a U.S. Attorney's Office that have the authority to issue federal grand jury subpoenas, compel witnesses into grand jury, witnesses going in to testify, having immunity discussions with people, others around Hillary who might have been complicit in the same scheme, offering immunities in exchange for their testimony.
Sure.
We're not hearing enough of that.
They're not stonewalling, but they could be slow rolling this, couldn't they?
Yeah, I have not heard the term stonewalling in this case, but the lack of activity that suggests a prosecutor is involved, the lack of comments from defense attorneys saying, I'm representing staffer so-and-so, and we are seeking immunity for that staffer, that concerns me, and it suggests that the FBI is doing everything it can without that legal authority that a grand jury subpoena gives you.
Let me ask you this. How does this story change at the DOJ and with the FBI if it is revealed that, you know, it was an unsecured server? Obviously, it got hacked. Everybody figures it got hacked. What if they're able to prove, the intel community, you know, a certain number of our agents out in the field were killed because of this? How does that change things?
Well, I think it would change it dramatically, because then you would see what the back end of a serious security lapse like this poses. I think that would change things in the White House. Now we're hearing this kind of creeping, admitting, just coming out of State Department. Until very recently with these top secret emails, we have heard the State Department spokesman defend, and now that's starting to change. How complicit is the White House in this? How many emails did White House, including the president himself, see? How vulnerable do they feel in this investigation?
Right.
I think we're going to see that change over time.
Sure, we do know that the president apparently emailed Hillary 18 times, even though he had claimed he heard about it in the media, he'd actually emailed her. We'll talk about that another day. Ron Husko, thank you very much for lending your expertise to this.
Great to be with you.
Great to have you. All right, it is 11 minutes before